Welcome back to Luke's Amateur Hour, guys. Just doing some cleanup here. I just put the hitch. Can you guys see that? I don't know. Just put the hitch on my minivan for a trip we're doing, and figured I'd just do a little chat about how that went. So in general, it went relatively well. After a steep learning curve about chasing threads because of, holy crap, all the was that for me? I don't know. All the gunk and the rust that just built up. I mean, built up inside bolts on one side. And even the directions they send you tell you, hey, you should clean out the threads. Okay. But man, oh man, if it took me a minute, it took me 2.5 hours. I mean, there's 3 bolts, or I'm sorry, 3 nuts that are welded into the frame that I had to go and chase out 4 years, 5 years of gunk out of. And I'm not joking, it was a quarter turn at a time. And like redoing that quarter turn multiple times. So stuff that I bought, I'll go through really quick. Stuff that I bought to help me do this. I got a quote from the dealer, and they said it'd be for the OEM hitch and wiring, it'd be about $550 for the install. I went on etrailers.com and got the hitch and the wiring shipped to me for about $160. So right off the bat, I'm $350, $400 in the black. And so I figure, okay, I got some room to buy some tools. So I only have a 3/8 inch torque wrench, and you need to torque the bolts. So, you know, I'm limited on my sockets to my 3/8 inch torque wrench, unless I want to buy a whole new torque wrench for 1/2 inch, which I didn't really want to do. That's expensive. So I only had a Craftsman deep well 12-point for that, and I didn't want to get into deep well, and I didn't want to use a 12-point, so I ran up to Lowe's today and bought the 19 mil 6-point cobalt, right? Whoop. Yeah, looks good. Focus. $4, $4.50. Added it to the collection. Got you there. While I was doing the cleaning out the threads, I couldn't use a ratchet, and this is one of my old Craftsman's, nothing special. And so what I ended up doing was getting, well, so I'll show you what I cleaned the threads out with. I cleaned the threads out with a rethread kit deal. Can you see that? Right? It's just a rethread thing. It's a 1/2 inch hex on the back, 6-point on the back, and it came in a kit that I got off Amazon, a Lang Tools 15-piece metric rethreader kit. Whoop. For $25. So it came with to thread the bolts, it came with the bolts to thread the nuts, and it came with a nut threading cleaner tool. $25. Next day shipped to my house. Worked out great. Took a long while. I don't know what a comparison with, you know, a really good one, or even say an Irwin set might run you, but for my purposes, it did the cleaning that I needed it to do. The problem I had was I was using, to turn the thing, I was using a 1/4 inch socket driver, my Philo, with a 1/2 inch socket on the end, and I was running it, you know, like this, and you can see I wore all the printing off of the handle on this guy. But then I threw the Wera driver in here, the heaviest duty driver I had, I think, and I was doing this, and it was just taking forever. What I'm trying to do is clean out my holes for my hitch receiver in my van. Taking the van on a vacation, want to put a hitch on so I can do a hitch haul or a trailer or something. And so, hold on a second, covering the Gonna cover the lens so you don't get blasted. I'm still here though. So what I'm trying to do, little PB blaster in there, is clean out the factory installed nuts. There's nuts welded into the frame that you connect the grade A bolts that connect the hitch to the car to. The problem I'm having is that they've been exposed to the elements for a very long time, and they're all rusted through. So my big concern, frankly, when I started this, was that I had the wrong bolts. Thought the company that sent me the hitch sent me the wrong bolts because they just wouldn't go more than a quarter turn, right? So I called up the dealer and they weren't much help. I called up the hitch company and they were like, yeah, we think we got the right bolts for you. They usually send the right ones. I'm like, well, usually that's not very reassuring, man. Hold on. And so I'm like, all right, well, I just ordered a thread restore kit. It's a Lang thread restore kit. This is one of them. It's the metric one. It was like 25 bucks. I'm like, I got my neighbor coming over. He's got a full snap-on kit, but I wanted to see, it's a chance for me to buy my own tools. He's got like a $500 kit. I'm not buying that, but okay. So a couple things I thought were a little comical here. Reason why I wanted to take the video. First off, the thread restorer has it's got a drive on the end, right? So you can connect a wrench or a socket. And I'm using a Duralast 1/2-inch socket attached to my Filo quarter-inch socket attached to my Filo nut driver. I was trying it with the socket or a ratchet, and I had to switch the gear on the ratchet constantly. Go in, go out, go in, go out. It was just a pain. So I figured the nut driver's perfect. And then I wasn't getting any leverage because, I'm weak, I'm upside down, it's the extent of my arm, etc. And so what I did was I took my Wera and I'm sticking it in the hole as such and doing it like this dealie here, right? So upside down, connector up, can't see anything. Going quarter turn, bring it back half a turn. Quarter turn, bring it back half a turn. Going back and forth. Hey wifey.
Hi, I'm right here.
I'm doing a video. Hey baby. So yeah, it's taken a very long time, but I'm trying to clean out the threads. Thought it was kind of funny. I'll post a video when I get into doing the hitch. Hi honey.
Hi, what are you doing?
Say hi to the video.
Hi,
Catch you later, YouTube. I ordered a T-handle. I'll do an unboxing when that shows up. But man, oh man, that stunk. So I went today, looked at Lowe's because I wanted to finish chasing one of the threads. And the closest they had to an actual T-handle, they have like their proprietary one with 25 bucks. I didn't want that. So the closest they had was the Cobalt 3/8-inch breaker bar. And yeah, that'd get the job done, right? Because the problem I had was you can't do this with a ratchet and be turning the thing both ways. So I got the breaker bar, helped run out the last bit of thread that I needed it to run out. Happy with that. Worked out relatively well. 12 bucks. Cobalt. So if I have a problem with it or something, I'd take it right back. I think the Harbor Freight version's 10. I was at Lowe's for other reasons. Okay, so that's the socket. That's the breaker bar. What else did I buy for this? What do you think? What else did I buy for this? I think that was it. Oh, PB Blaster. Boom. PB Blaster. I got multi-purpose lubricant, pro grade. I went through, I'd say 3/4 of this can. Spray it in, run the rethreader up, back it out. Spray it in, run it up, back it out. Do a little on off like that for way too many rotations. Took a very long time. So I got it in. Once I got the threads chased through, installing the hitch took maybe half an hour. Most of the time was just lining the thing up, getting something in there. I used my Rhino ramps and my hydraulic lift to get it up, and then my kid just kind of like scooched one side while I got a bolt in the other side, and then it was just, you know, a little fiddly, but it went in fine. So yeah, so I'm out, what, 12.5 for new blaster. I picked up another can of blaster. I couldn't find my WD-40 yesterday, and it's just sitting on the other shelf. So the new can of blaster I got was PB penetrating. But is it better, Luke? I don't know, man. I just bought it today. I haven't used it yet. So 12.5 we'll call it. So that's 22 bucks. And I got some more parts on the way for future problems that cost me about 75 bucks. But of that, only about 30 are what I would have used in this scenario. And I'll call them out what they are. So even if we're at 30, 22, I spend another 50 bucks on tools. I'm ahead 400 bucks. 350 bucks, 300 bucks, whatever. I just put 300 bucks in my pocket by doing it. If I could do it, you could do it. I'm an idiot. I'm an amateur. This is almost the entirety of all my sockets. I got some more down here. Right, that's where I got my 3/8 inch drive bit sockets and stuff, but yeah. And then my kid's drawer. My kid's got all of her sockets. Well, they're on the ground outside. I gotta go clean up. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, YouTube. Hey, this is kind of a precursor to a toolbox tour. This is all my sockets and ratchets and stuff. I got my 1/2 inch over here, quarters, 3/8 SAE, quarters, 3/8 metrics, 1/4 inch drive stuff, 3/8 inch drive stuff, 3/8 inch drive, 1/4 inch, and then my DeWalt accessory kit right at the front because I use it all the time, and my new filter socket dealie. Cool, that's all I got. Thanks for tuning in, YouTube. I appreciate it. If this is the kind of thing you like, me just talking about the work, I got a video I started doing with the thing. I'll show you what that looks like. I might even embed it in this video. May have already seen it. I don't know. Editing comes later. Anyway, if this is the kind of thing you like, hit like. If you like my channel, the way I do stuff, go ahead and subscribe. Throw a comment in the comments if you have any feedback on what I did or how these breaker bars are. Drop me a line. I appreciate it. I try to reply to all the comments I can. Thanks for tuning in. My name's Luke. I'm an amateur. This one didn't take an hour. Have a good day, YouTube.